Hello everyone, this is Ashmita and today's topic of discussion is Article 14. Article 14 of the Constitution of India is the first article that guarantees the right to equality to its citizens. From the bare reading of the article, you will see that the article can be divided into two parts, that is, equality before law and equal treatment of all laws. The first part, that is, equality before law, is kind of a negative concept, which is that unlike a monarchical system wherein if you are born to the family of a king, you get to be the next king, this article signifies that if you are born to a person or you are from a caste or a creed, you do not derive any special privilege or you do not have any upper hand in law. That is to say that all people are equal in front of law and therefore they are treated equally. This article is in resonance with the principle of rule of law laid down by A.V. Dicey. The next part of Article 14 is equal treatment from all laws. This is basically a positive concept, which signifies that there should be equality in equal circumstances. Aristotle in his book Politics first articulated this idea, stating that equals should be treated equally, whereas unequals should be treated unequally. So, for example, one day the state passes a legislation stating that people within earnings from 10,000 to 1 lakh will be charged the same amount of tax, let's say 25%. So, a person A is earning 10,000 rupees, he has to pay 25% of 10,000 rupees tax to this government, and person B is earning 1 lakh rupees. He also has to pay 25% of 1 lakh to the government. The passing of this legislation, if so happened, will be manifestly arbitrary and against Article 14. And therefore, this article ensures that such legislations are not passed. To understand Article 14 better, let's look into some cases. The first case is Anwar Ali Sarkar versus State of West Bengal. In this case, the court laid down that for differentiating between two groups of people, there has to be intelligible differentia between a group and the people who are left out from that group, and there should be a rationale of this differentiation and the nexus between the object sought for the differentiation and the differentiation. To understand it better, let's take an example. So an apartment A passes a rule that elderly people cannot go to the ground all throughout the day. However, they can go to the ground in between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and in that particular time frame, children cannot go to the ground and play. This, the apartment committee says, that is for the protection of elderly people from getting hurt. Let's take another situation wherein the apartment committee states that elderly people cannot go to the ground in any time. For the first example, you will understand that there is an intelligible differentia, that is from the elderly people and children. Our object sought is that elderly people do not get hurt, and there is a reasonable nexus between the object sought and the differentiation. Therefore, the first example is valid. However, for the second example, there is, although an intelligible differentia between elderly people and children, the object sought doesn't match with the differentiation. That is to say, the object sought is manifestly arbitrary to the rule laid down. Therefore, the second will be against Article 14. Another case that I would like to discuss is the case of Gopika Ranjan Chaudhary versus Union of India. In this case, the court laid down, although some people are working in a headquarter and others are working in some different units other than the headquarter, it doesn't mean that you have a disparity of payment between the two groups even though they are performing the same work. This case again emphasized on the principle of equal pay for equal work. Therefore, if two people are working the same thing, there cannot be parity in payment. Another case is Mewaram versus All India Institution of Medical Sciences. In this case, the court laid down that the government has the right to classify jobs on the basis of qualification, and therefore Although a hearing therapist and an audiologist render their professional services, these two jobs are different and therefore there can be parity of payment in between them. Another point of Article 14 is that it does not allow class legislation. However, it does allow classification for the purpose of legislation. To understand it better, let's take the case of Chiranjit Lal versus Union of India. In this case, due to maladministration, the government took over a company and changed its board of directors. One of the shareholders of the company went to the court stating that the government has singled out our company and it is arbitrary and therefore against Article 14. The court, however, sided with the government. The court stated that this act of the government is not a class legislation, and although the government did single out a company, it can do that and it is not arbitrary and therefore not against Article 14. The underlying principle of Article 14 is that it allows similarity of treatment and not identical treatment. That is it for today. I hope you guys understood. If you did, like, share, comment and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.